Don't you hate it when that happens to you? When it does, you need this and this and this. When it happens to me, I always know where to go. When you've got professionals on your side, your problems don't stand a chance. What are you waiting for? Contact them today and let them take care of your problems.
Mama, me and Papa, them for Southern Cameroons. I dey beg when I say make we be not together. Because not togetherness go carry we forward. Because one hand you no go fit tie bundle. You might be a dirty lad. 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 Famanga sigarate, famanga sigarate, famanga sigarate. You might be a dirty lad. You might be a dirty lad. Oh, so fine wolfer. Very better was selling fish. Share you my Epah president. Ben for long. Waka. Dr. Stephen Shemlon, man of principles. I say, for me, that when I don't see wonder, oh, yeah. Well, when I didn't like the multi-parties, and they bring me something, oh. I tell when I say, for me, that when I don't see wonder, oh, yeah. Well, when I was chef for national cake, now tear gas with a grenade, oh. May 26, 1990, well, tear gas with a grenade, now you will see for Baminda. Malo picking them. I say, Baminda, waiting when I do. I say, Baminda, so good to them. I say, Baminda, so grenade. I say, when I say, Baminda, Malo picking them. Well, Baminda, so come on, bro. Well, Baminda, so good to them. Well, Baminda, waiting when I do. Papa for all picking them. Thank you, Papa. Epah me come on for Bali, he go for Buffalo. He come on for Buffalo, we don't know so we don't go. Why Bamida, you be Balo picking oh. For the same way, marketing money come on for Kumba, he reach for Douala. They don't think that sign, they put them for inside your country, people we know sabi. Well, now which kind of marriage this one will be, no? If you go for marriage house, the things say you forget all your brother and sister for your papa compound. No say that one a bad marriage. Them go tell you say they have papa farm for wine and my way potato the fine for this so. They don't say they have brother the way they work inside that farm, they don't say we work fine. So they go send your papa some fine work people them. No say not trouble they come so. Them go tell you say although the fine work people they don't say we talk lamb so. Me would not fear, they go do that work popo. Them go take that same story, they go meet your papa there with one bottle kai. If your papa there agree that thing where they talk, then he never only turn in your own hands. He don't turn at the hands and food for a great grand picking, they are picking them because they never ever see that potatoes again. Yes, country people, Nangonya that for Victoria. When that fine work people them finish move Nangonya, all them they go na go. But don't have for Victoria, Nangonya they come out. He turn cheap now from being past Victoria. Even the taxes, the way that Konya get for the pay. Council for Victoria and see that taxes. Woo. So, in the face of all this wahala, what the people they go do? Now my party people they die with all kind of degree under their pillow. For Boya Town, Bukwango, Sosoliso Kawash, Ekona, Moyuka, Fiango, Newtown, Video Farm. Now them that is Sapdomo every day would bury them on top Zoa Zoa. Inside that very married, they go tell you say save that car where they are replicate them so where they win a hapnika whole Baton City. They go send your papa new got them where they sabi walk fine. Where they wear a red cap with long trousers and then hold a gun. Because when your small brother strike from school, they no go need a Baton City for beat you, they need a gun for shoot you for down. Again, they go tell you say for them married for waka popo, your papa get plenty thing them for your backside, where get for move up. So that Boeing 747, where they come up for Tico, land for Murphy, land for Bali. We get for stop up. Even the airport them, we get for Kimna Kamamuru for day, where they go make sure your papa follow order. Even the Tico and Murphy seaport, your papa no need them. Power come for your care. Kumba Murphy Road, Womb Area Development Authority, WADA. Marketing board, all them go give your papa strong head. Now they come up for Kumba. They dig marketing board with over 2,000 employees country people. They time on top Okada. As they enter inside one pothole to another for Kumba Boya Road, it is shake. Work out the 4, machine the 4. Before the one reach from bank, now only the roof remain. Next thing we hear and I say, coffee not fine again for war market. Save CDC, the last hope. They don't start go part by part. Banana be don't go, tea don't follow. Country people, Naboya Mountain remain. Country people, we don't see one. Country people, we don't see one. I go for Chico, see, but he don't go. Country people, we don't see one. Country people, we don't see one. I go for Bali Airport in a day. Country people, we don't see one. Country people, we don't see one. I go for Kumba, so, Poto. Country people, we don't see one. Country people, we don't see one. And the house now, what do we do? Country people, we don't see one. Country people, we don't see one. I go for TR road for drive, no day. Country people, we don't see one. Country people, we don't see one. I go for Meda, so grenade. Country people, we don't see one. Country people, we don't see one. I go for Murphy Airport, it don't go. Country people, we don't see one. Country people, we don't see one. I go for Murphy, so poto.
Fellow Amazonians, dear countrymen, despite the hike in targeted summary execution of our innocent people by Paul Biya's killer squads, I still believe we are now at the twilight of our political daybreak, emptying the combined worth and wealth of a lifetime fortune into the country of our collective dream.
Independence dues, CID. I have the opportunity to give to the next generation a greater nation, better than we inherited.
Yes, CID program is freedom made easy, freedom made cheap, freedom for Amazonia now.
Ba bombo, man bombo. se bakwai se kwai no bakwai. Oh no. Ha, etando mo money. Kwai ativo. E kongo ye ke cheme nema. E kongo ye ke cheme bora. E kongo ye ke cheme ringa moe. E kongo ye ke cheme sabitikera etamanda mo. Abene bisonga bang. Abene tenako na abene yanchang. Oh no. Mr. and Mrs. Oben of Bisabang, Esari Nevai, Mankamentang, Ekongo Busense, Ekongo Buyangpa, Tubeso Chane Menkongo, Ekongo Yeke Cheme Sabitikera, Etamandemo, Sabitikera Busense, Ekongo Buyangpa, Tubeso Chane Menkongo, Ekongo Yeke Cheme Sabitikera, Etamandemo, Okoro Changa Seroka, Okoro Changa Wampa, Mbakeko Ezumzimankon, Ario Koreza Bakale Kasabtikera, Atovasio. Sabtikera ne Membango, Manyane Sapeke Basinga Mama. Chire mo batia pai menewe chekongo menewe nunchana mot menewe chekanga mot menewe nunchana mot menewe chekongo menewe chekongo menewe chekongo ekongo yeke cheme sabitikera atobasio. Florence Taco, the family Iroko, Canada. Oh no! Ekongo yeke cheme nema, Ekongo yeke cheme bora, Ekongo yeke cheme ringa moe, Ekongo yeke cheme sabitikera etamandemo. Enyine dewo ongwemen. Panso Matthias Bawak, the chairman. Huh? Mama are comfort. Ha, Komi Brown. Ayinga man kama yaba mora beika kwaya. Ayinga man kama yaba more beika kwaya neme. Ayinga man kama yaba mora beika kwaya neme. Ayinga man kama yaba more beika kwaya neme. Ayinga man kama yaba mora beika kwaya neme. Ayinga man kama yaba more beika kwaya neme. Ayinga man kama yaba mora beika kwaya neme. Alias Yaba Mora Beika Quaineme. Ayinga Mankama Yaba More Beika Quaineme. Ayinga Mankama Yaba Mora Beika Quaineme. Ayinga Mankama Yaba More Beika Quaineme. Ayinga Mankama Yaba Nene Beika Quaineme. Ayinga Mankama Yaba More Beika Quaineme. Ayinga Mankama Yaba Nene Beika Quaineme. Ayinga Mankama Yaba More Beika Quaineme. Mami Susan Oben. Anene yika kwene mea, kwene mea. Anene yika kwene mea, anene yika kwene mea. Ya chichi karamot mbe ya kwene mea. Sese ko erita ko mbe ya kwene mea. Ha chichi karamot mbe ya kwene mea. Ekadu moma anene yika kwene mea. Ayava cheme yika kwene mea. Anene yika kwene mea. Ya chichi karamot be ya kwine me a chichi nyesene mon be ya kwine me a chichi karamora yika kwine me pogo menchi me yika kwine Montreal, Canada.
This is the People's Television, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless. Bringing the state of the struggle on your fingertips. Unmasking the genocide in Ambazonia. Reporting first-hand untold stories from Africa. Donate to ABC Amba TV every day. We the people must control the narrative. Internationalize the struggle, keep ground zero abreast and win the war. Cash App 240-486-8768. Hashtag $AmboABC. Zelle, donations at ambazoniafoundation.org. PayPal, support@abcambath.com. Thank you.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you're all welcome to the show, The Analyst. Today is a very nice day. We have a very, very talented and very, very, renowned guest today in our show. And we're going to be happy to meet them. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. Good morning for those viewers, televiewers from Ground Zero watching us live on ABC Amba TV. It is also my honor and privilege to have these two fantastic guest speakers today with us. In the analyst show, we do a lot of questioning. We do, we're a little bit confrontational. We try to interview all our guests. We might be having some disagreement in what we talk, some challenges, and but that is how we do questioning. Just by way of introduction, I am Fritz Misodi. I am the presenter of the Analyst show on ABC TV. My day job here is just grilling and challenging people in power, holding them to account, questioning them on what they have been doing for the struggle. That is their job. We have to ask them what they're doing so that we have good answers for what they're doing to help Ambazonia. And today we have two special people, and we're going to be talking to them. So if you are just joining, you can hit the share button and share, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or in Ground Zero. Inform the next person. Share and share and share. Hit your share button. And for some reason, we're going to be talking on some special topics today. The brutal assassination of Senator Kemende in Bamenda. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk on the appointment of the newly appointed vice president.
We're going to talk also about the state, the constitution, and the people. We're going to also mention this ongoing AFCON that has failed, the failed ongoing AFCON, what is in stake for CAF and La Republique. And also, we're going to mention, talk about some international community reaction on the crisis for the past few months. Welcome to the show, The Analyst. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining, hit your share button, share, and tell your neighbors. I want us to have a minute of silence for our heroes that have passed away. We'll have a minute of silence before we continue. Those heroes that have given their lives, they are giving all for this struggle. And so let's have a minute of silence before we continue the show. May the soul of the departed rest in power. So, our guest, I'll introduce our first guest. He was born in the village called Ngwenji in the Widikum ethnicity. He played football with the original PWD Social Club of Bamenda. He attended the nursing and midwifery school, Bamenda. He worked at Ngwa and Do Health Centers, a state registered nurse. He studied bachelor's and master's in public health at Indiana's University in Bloomington, Indiana. He earned a PhD in public health education in Texas and AMA University. So, Professor Ayim has been an advocate for human rights and the right to self-determination of peoples. In this light, he has served with the SDF North America as pioneer secretary, then resigned to join to serve the people for liberation of Southern Cameroon. He started by serving the Southern Cameroon Youth League by promoting the argument of force as opposed to the NCNC force of argument. He served the Southern Cameroon People's Organization, SCAPO, and was part of the SCAPO, Banjul, and Abuja High Court lawsuit under the Dr. Kemul Gume. Professor has also involved in in this struggle in different capacity as a member of from the consortium to the governing council to the interim government. He served in various capacities in the interim government under Seseko administration and also Sako administration as Deputy Director of Planning and Internal Controls of Director, the Head of Department of Foreign Affairs to the current position of Chief of Staff. Professor Ayim is well known. He's been in this struggle for more than 30 years. And Professor Ayim has written some books. His latest book is The Communicable Disease for School and Community Health Promotion. That was his recent book. He also wrote The Former British Southern Cameroon Towards Complete Independence and Sovereignty, Volume 1 and 2. So those are, so Professor Ayim, you're welcome and to join us in the show, The Analyst.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Welcome to the show, Professor Ayim.
Thank you. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well. 5 on 5.
Okay, you're coming across breaking, something like that.
I'm getting you.
Okay, but I don't get you. I'm breaking, I'm breaking, so you might want to fix that too.
Are you getting me?
In a choppy way. One word, another word skip. It's not flowing.
Yeah, I think our technicians will take care of that.
Okay.
Yes. So just by way of introduction, can you let me introduce our next guest, then I'll come back to you, Professor Ayim. Our next guest is he attended the University of Boya he had a bachelor's degree in management. From 2002 to 2017, he worked as sales representative of Macmillan publisher Faco and Littoral, and also obtained a postgraduate diploma in education foundation and administration. From 2009 to 2012, he studied at the University of North Georgia, Gainesville campus. And as tutor of math to students in the college, he obtained an associate in pre-pharmacy. From 2013 to 2017, graduated with doctorate of pharmacy at Lake Erie College of Orthopedic Medicine School of Pharmacy, and is a pharmacist as we speak. He spoke in various seminars in Catholic, Presbyterian, and other school associates in Faco and Littoral. He has written about your national identity, and also written different motivation and different publication. Dr. Anderson, you're welcome to the show, The Analyst.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Do you hear me?
Yes, 505.
Yeah, thank you very much for introducing me. I just want to add that I was a chairman of SCNC for the Boya and Faco, with the LGAs and the counties. And we stand for the force of argument, while the other side stood for the argument of force. So that is who I am. And I hail from Manu. I come from Ebinsi village in Akwaya, and that is who I am.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll just go straight away to the matters arising from our questioning. There are so many events that have been going on in Ambazonia, and you people are members of government and you know better. But we'll talk about the various happenings in the AFCON. We'll talk about the various happening within our interim government. We'll also talk about what is going on with our the senator that was assassinated. And I want us to start with the appointment of the VP, Comrade Eric Ate. You all know him, and I want you to comment on that. What is your take about his appointment, and what can you say about him? Professor Ayim, can I start with you? Professor Ayim seems to be broken, and Dr. Anderson, maybe I'll start with you because you know him better. You know Comrade Eric Ate, our VP. You know him. You know you have worked with him. You know how he has been, in the struggle.
Yes, I just first, before I start talking about Comrade Eric Ate, whom we call the CAP, was the director of cabinet, and I want to say farewell to our former Vice President, Dr. Harrison Abongwa. He actually served Ambazonia well, but we have to understand that when when somebody appoints you and there is a time for that person to go because of one thing or the other, you just have to accept that and start serving as ordinary citizen of Ambazonia and make sure that we all the same battle in order for us to reach Uboya. With regards to Comrade Dika, I call him Eriate, he is a very close friend of mine, and we almost discuss almost every day. I was surprised that he was, surprised in the essence that he did not envisage that he has to be the vice president, even though somebody else may be there, but he is very competent. And when I say competency and loyalty to this struggle, that is the first thing that the president actually wants from somebody, for an appointed leader. Somebody cannot appoint you and then you become an obstacle to his own well-being. And that is why you see we're having a problem here and there. So Comrade Eriate is a square peg in the square hole. and he will serve the president very well. And he has contributed financially into this struggle than any other person in this revolution. I'm saying from what I know. Yes, in the draft and even behind the scene, he does. He has very comprehensive argument if in case there is any disagreement somewhere within the IG, and he's somebody who is a problem solver. So I think we have an asset in that vice president, and he's always loyal to the president, because you cannot be conflicting somebody who appoints you. You can only advise, and so that all of you move forward instead of disagreement here. We may have disagreement, but we can resolve the agreement and make sure that we move forward in a very orderly manner, because the enemy out there is greater than arguments. Because the more we argue, that is how the enemy will be pounding us and pouncing on our people. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ayim. Yeah, welcome. What's your take about the current appointment of the VP, Comrade Eric Ate? Professor Ayim.
Frozen.
I think Prof has issue with his connection. Prof,
Yeah,
can you unmute
my
yourself?
screen is frozen.
Please? Yeah, it is on your own side. You have a problem on your side, not on ABC.
Yes, I think so. Prof, I'm getting you. So can you speak? Yes, talk about. We are talking about the appointment of VP Comrade Eric Ate, and what you think about his appointment.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, 5 on 5.
You hearing me?
Yes.
Okay, because
yes,
my screen is frozen. I see everything's on standstill, so I'm wondering we're communicating.
Yes, continue talking.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
We hear you, Prof.
Listen. Okay. No, I'll just keep talking.
Right.
About appointments. You know, as the chief executive, the chief executive has powers to make an appointment to reshuffle his cabinet at any time he deems that the goal of the organization is being compromised, the focus is being lost. That is a prerogative of the chief executive to replace me here, anybody, anytime. So I don't see why being a mountain out of an anthill. If a worker shows that that worker is not working in sync with the leader towards the attainment of a goal, it is but befitting leader to make that decision. In this case, yes, the coming in of the new vice president is just in order. It's just one of those things. Administrative processes, you know, if you're not to your boss, and the boss is the one appointing you, the boss has the powers to replace you. It's just that plain common sense. So has the President appointed the right person? Yes. The answer, and another yes. Why? Because Mr. Eric Ate, the Vice President Eric Ate, has been active, loyal, contributes actively to every, attends all draft stations, gives suggestions to the president, communicates to the president with the cabinet, and the flow is there. And he has been director of cabinet administration. So what better choice could it have been? So this is for the health of the struggle. It's good for the struggle. It may be bad for an individual or bad for someone wanted this government to fail, or Sako to fail, or Sako to be a lame dog, or Sako not to achieve the goals of the internal government. This appointment of a proactive individual will be there for people like that. But for those who value the focus of the goal, which is the attainment of independence of the British Southern Cameroons and Amazonia, this is healthy, very, very healthy. It's not about, hate or like. It's about whether this is good for the struggle. I say yes, it's good for the struggle.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Ayim. I want us to talk about this assassination of the senator in Bamenda, Senator Komando. We all know, we heard he was shot in his car and killed by unknown gunmen. The wife was inside the car also, and we don't know the circumstances leading to that, but this is what we know of the SDF senators. The same thing happened to Senator Mbandam. He was also killed. We don't know the circumstance, but we know this is what happened if you are an opposition leader and you are very outspoken in La Republique. They will kill you. They will use any means for you, for you to be killed. I don't know your take on that, Dr. Anderson.
Yes. Do you hear me right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is that Kajan or me?
No,
yes,
for Dr. Anderson.
Okay.
Yes, you know the pattern. We know all the pattern of how things happen in La Republique, right? These are our brothers. We, God forbid that something of this sort actually did happen. I was thinking that these gunmen were not an isolated incident. This has been happening from time to time, that the moment our people step up and start talking in La Republique in favor of us, Ambazonian, that is where they will look for all to remove them out of this world. It is very uncommon. It's not very uncommon to see that. Before, let me remind Ambazonians that before the revolution actually started, I mean the days of SCNC, there are a lot of individuals that have been murdered by this same regime of La Republique of Cameroon because they simply wrote a book criticizing the government, what they do, and the moment they are traveling from Douala to Yaoundé, you hear a motor accident. And that is how they kill them very silently, and nobody, to make sure that nobody knows of what actually happened. You can, let me cite an example. You hear about Batebison, right? From Manu, the former University of Boya lecturer, and is teaching literature and theater art. He criticized the government, wrote a book about Cameroons and talking about the annexation of all one out by La Republique and putting in the theater form and when he wanted to travel, I don't know whether to the United States, he just had an accident and died. So it is not something that is very common to La Republique. We know there are a lot of people, I'm saying since 1961 up to date, there are a lot of our people that have been killed in Ambazonia, either in La Republique or the downland. So I don't think that some people here, some La Republique can figure out as Ambazonian restoration forces. Listen to what that guy spoke at his assembly. Something that Ambazonian Restoration Forces will kill him. No, not do that. They did not even kill Frundi, who uprightly rejected to support us. They didn't kill some of the critics who are in La Republic that are conniving with La Republic to kill us. Less of that man who has just been murdered because of what? So I can tell you that all fingers point to La Republic. There is a pattern a pattern of this kind of murders and assassination.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. We just like what you said, many suspects of the La Republic agent, the Special Secret Service, they are very good at that. And many sources have said that some gendarme, police, and were involved in this. Professor Ayim, what lesson can these people learn, especially those our brothers and those people who say they are in the opposition? We all know you were there during the SDF days, the creation of the SDF. The goal of the SDF was to give us freedom. But now the SDF has no use in that La Republic. So I don't know what lesson do they want to learn when it comes to this, because I don't think they understand that we are fighting for the liberation of Southern Cameroon and Ambazonia. So what is the LGF members of parliament even doing there, for God's sake? I don't understand. Bandam was killed the same way. The other members of parliament was killed the same way. Professor Ayim.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. SDF thing, I'm telling you, the SDF had lost its purpose. The purpose of which the SDF created to Abel Mokong, to me, and then Dr. Martin Ngeka Luma in Texas, when they were in US here, the purpose of which the SDF was created has been compromised. The SDF you know now is not the SDF that was created at the time. So for any person of the SDF at this point to think that he's going to make a difference in La République du Cameroon, whether through their structures, he is dreaming. As vibrant as Honorable Weaver was, as vibrant as foreign-led person Komando was, you could see them on the stage, they're talking. You are an endangered species in La République du Cameroon institutions. Whether you like it or not, they're only even Bandam towards a victim. When you start speaking the language of the freedom, of the liberty of your people that you represent, Southern Cameroonians and Ambazonians, you are an endangered species over there. So, you know that. Why are you there? Why are you there? People say, well, it's good to talk from the inside. The inside doesn't listen to you. They don't want to listen to you. They ask you, qu'est-ce que tu vas faire?
Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire?
Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire? What are you going to do? What about Weber lamenting about all this? We all know this. He's out there asking Frundi right to his face. Me, Frundi, I want to respect him. It's my father. Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire? Now I saw Frundi there, the presidency at one time begging with a hand. He said, just put something in my hat so I can, this is my hat or cap, so I can go and appease the people. You think that is the SDF was formed then? The man who was on the stage, you know, everywhere, and the nation following, then now you're in somebody's office there, you're begging for something, you go and hand over to your people. Then the purpose is defeated. So the SDF, and that is why I left the SDF when I realized that after Ngeka Luma talked to me that the SDF was compromised. I left it and joined the struggle for the liberation of Southern Cameroon. So, SDF, your days are gone. There's not much you can do. We don't want any type of federation. State, 3 state, 4 state, 10 state, whatever. We are standing for the independence of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, Southern Cameroon, and that is what SACO. And that is what SACO is a nemesis for La République du Cameroun. I'm sure in the program we're going to come to that, to tell you why and how they're trying to go behind the back to do their divide and rule and plot a coup, send some of us to come now, make SACO look like the bad guy, but SACO is instead the solution to our struggle, the stabilizer of our struggle. And this is what La République and France want. And they're using the divide and rule tactic, making us to talk to ourselves, curse ourselves, quarrel among ourselves, while they're behind them laughing, smiling. You're doing the dirty job for them. We'll come to that, and I'll tell you more.
Yes, yes, more. Prof. We'll come to that.
I hope my friends are listening to me today. I hope Dr. Epah is listening to me today. And let's talk sense and make suggestions and bring our people together in Washington, D.C. They are take strategy and speak sense and build our way forward positively. Thank you.
Yes, Prof. Thank you very much, Prof. Before we go to that, let's talk about the ongoing AFCON, because we have heard the international community saying about the AFCON. We have seen that the restoration forces are determined to disrupt the AFCON, and we saw that the game in Limbe, the stadium was empty. The 2 games that just played in Victoria. So I don't know if this is a success for the interim government, or there still need to be done to show that the AFCON, the interim government's ultimatum of AFCON in Tanzania can really go to fruition. I want you to tell me what do you think must be done or should be done at this time to make sure that the game doesn't just hold at all. Not that the game holds, but maybe the stadium is empty, or you want this goes to Dr. Anderson.
Chris, I just want to ask you a question before I proceed. Will you celebrate in a football tournament when in your territory? The fact that the people are living, the fact that the people who are still living are there taking God is, I mean, every day you don't even know your future. You don't even know whether the next person that will be killed is you. And you carry yourself and enjoying what? A tournament? That is above 35,000 Ambazonians that have been slaughtered, killed. That is, I don't even know what to say. You think Ambazonians are that very foolish that their brothers are in refugee camps all over the world? Then they will go and appease Paul Biya to go to a tournament and contribute and raise money for La République. You think Ambazonians are that sheepish that they will go to the tournament, that their houses, about 400 to 500 villages, have been razed down? Or you think people are happy? The family of all those that have been, the baby matter and all one, they will come and say, okay, let's go and celebrate the genocide of La République in Victoria. That is not something that an average human being should do. That is not going to happen. And what about the international community? Are they pretending that they were not informed about this? That they should to Ambazonia? Ambazonia is under a suppression by La République du Cameroun or in a genocide? We were adequately informed on Twitter, on other media. We informed them. They were informed. So why are they doubting? This is just the beginning until the end of the tournament. Ambazonia will not rest to see that the genocider will come to their land kill their people, burn their houses, chase people to refugees, and they're lavishing, dying of hunger, dying of all kinds of dreaded diseases. Some of them are prostituting and even in a way. And then we allow them to march in and say, okay, let's celebrate. What is a child? Or more important than human? So, let me leave it there, Prof. Maybe you have something to say. Those are the kind of questions we need to ask ourselves. We are no fools. International community, whether the West or the East, should know that we are more learned intellectually, psychologically, and what have you. We know what we are doing, and there is nobody that can deceive us, including the United Nations.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Anderson. I've mentioned this in most of my outings, and even in my podcast. The complicity of CAF to even dare to organize a COP in his country where there's war is just like complicity of crime against humanity, because I don't see how they can go ahead and organize a COP in a country plagued by war. So all is just, I was happy with the interim government's letter to CAF and other football governing bodies, but Professor Ayim, I don't know the reaction of CAF towards the letter that was sent to them by the interim government, because they were warned. All these countries, all these football governing bodies, they were warned that they should not come to Amazonia because of the war. But I don't know the reaction that they had towards the letter that was sent by the president. You, as a chief of staff, can better tell us.
Yes, thank you very much, Chris. Listen, the goal of the interim government towards the no-AFCON was to do something to send the international statement to the world that we control our land. Now, has a statement been international? So the answer is yes. And that statement is positive action on the ground. That is yes. And now you see the stadium empty. Epah just complained the other day, as I have his posting, that they raised $3,500 first game. Yes. Is that success on the part of the interim government and the activities on the ground? Of course. If the interim government and the restoration forces have not done what they did, there will be millions received. The stadium will be filled, jam-packed. So the impact was made, the statement was sent. Now, and the statement will still be sent. It's not over. So sometimes we beat ourselves by being negative and by over-expecting as well. Critics of the interim government and of SACO, they hate SACO for what reason, I don't know. Will not see what the interim government, what the defense has done as anything, whereas it is something. Your glass is either half or is half empty. If you see that is half full, if you see that is nothing, then the glass is empty. But some people have just minds to see us happy every time, which is not healthy for the struggle. So did the interim government send messages to CAF, to official letters, to the countries involved, etc.? Yes. We tweeted, we did everything. Did they receive? Yes. But who makes the ultimate decision? They, not us. We set our attainable goals. About to attain the goals, we can only do what we can do from our own end. So the international statement is made. I'm appealing to all those who are just too negative to see that there is work to do and that we are making an effort. And you should imagine the time when they have created this confusion. The last 2 weeks before AFCON, there is this divide and rule thing. You hear people now talking about elections, some talking about this, some talking about that. That is digression. They didn't want you to focus on the AFCON, and they want you to start quarreling and tearing ourselves apart. That is the trap Chris Anu fell into. I'm not saying he did that ignorantly. I am sure that La République du Cameroon and France are behind it. It's a tactic. Now we are talking as if we have the IG has done nothing, the restoration forces have done nothing, whereas the boys are at work. We are seeing it for ourselves in Boya and in Victoria, the stadium. We are all seeing. What will it take for us to believe and give these guys more encouragement, give them more materials, donate, give them what they need to do better, give them some words of encouragement. Yeah, it says you've done something. Okay, we're expecting more. That is, when action is made like that, somebody will, it was from this one with that, you play your own part. Your little contribution plus this little contribution here, you add the pieces, you have a big bang. But for you to stay back and say, okay, we're not going to do anything because they are doing something. So there's a power of negative thinking. It's avoidance. You don't want to get engaged because I can blame somebody else. And the people who have the guts and the something are the one being blamed by those who are doing nothing. And maybe have paid nothing. And maybe have drafted nothing. But they are quick to write, they are quick to criticize, they are quick to do that. Whereas we are working our butts out. Sako is working his butt out. The interim government is working his butt out to keep the struggle focused. We are defending the interests of the people, staying focused. People are making empty noises here and there, insults here and there, insults there. Anybody who's engaged in insults every time and name calling has nothing to offer. Nothing. If you have something to offer, accuse Sako of embezzlement of this, show me the evidence. Show the document. Show the document. Look, this is the proof here. This is what he did. This is what he did. I will join you and we will chastise Sako.
Professor,
but in as much as it's empty talking, it is just empty talking.
Professor, we are trying to divert a little bit. We are trying to focus on the topic so that we don't go out of it. We are talking about the AFCON, and I think we have to talk much about the AFCON because, like you said, the ARF are now very engaged, and they made a statement already that they are fighting for the liberation of their country. They don't care who is the commander-in-chief. They said they will fight and they respect the commander-in-chief who is there at any time. Now it's Dr. Sako, so they respect Dr. Sako as their commander-in-chief. The ARF, we saw them in Victoria, we saw them in Boya. They have done a wonderful job, and we want to thank them for that. We can't thank them enough. I want to also talk about the work that someone like Samuel Etofis, who is now the football governing board, the FECAFOOT, the now president, is supposed to do in this kind of situation. Instead of going to provoke the situation, he went to Victoria and did nothing. He went there and was eating bottom fish. Yeah? He was eating, and he said that, never see Limbe. Never see he said, this is me in Limbe. There's nothing here in Limbe. Everything is going more fine. He was promoting genocide because he has made no statement. We want to compare it to people like Didier Drogba, who did very much to bring peace in their country, in Ivory Coast, or someone like George Weah, who brought peace to Liberia. And we are saying that Eto was supposed to play that role of a peacemaker, not like a genocide enabler. Dr. Anderson, I want to, what do you think about this?
It's funny to understand that we cannot do anything to face doing. No, it cannot do anything because the engine behind the scene is France, and they all die. And in the rhythm of France, there's nothing like Eto will do this. Eto, by the way, I mean, apart from a soccer player, international soccer player, maybe he has money. About what level of, it's never been in Amazonia in any way, apart from I think he was involved in the Guadalajara Academy in those days. Became what he has become. I know about his background like that. Maybe he has come play in the then days of Kaji Academy to come to the Southern Cameroons and play. But I would like to just mention that money does not actually convey the message of reconciliation. Can you understand me? France will be behind him. You don't even know why they even awarded him gave him position. Peace. Maybe people of Ambazina will be dancing. Those who are citizens of La Republic will be dancing with La Republic so that they can bring the turn there. But as I told you earlier, Ambazonia is not that shit. Okay? Our people know that no matter what you do, no matter the body language, no matter what you do, they stand for what they actually believe in. I mean, suffering for 6 is not 60 days. You feel the pain when you were in Amazonia until you came here. All of the pains, your roads, and it came to the end. Our territory has been destroyed. Even though they built nothing, they took everything away. They could not even build their own structures for 60 years. The punishment that God has given away from us, they would have become heaven in Africa, but they couldn't 60 years. So Ethiopia went to him bragging, or maybe talking, oh, maybe he was saying that military guys guiding him, guiding him. So he wanted to deceive the whole world, whereas he is being boy, not to be ambushed. Okay? Let say maybe was just walk. Ambassador the solution for you will give him some people to drink. So, so there is nothing I can do because, and again, before I end here, let me just say that the competition is being organized by those who are stealing our air in the Gulf of Guinea. So why did they organize a tournament in Amba? Because they wanted to make sure that the world should not know that there's something going in there. Yes. Who organized that tournament? Who was the sponsor behind that tournament? Is it not Total? Total? Of Guinea. So they are conniving with France to actually allow La Republic to exercise their genocidal to do a lot of genocide in Amazonia to kill our people. Total knows fully well that they are conniving with France and La Republic to kill our people, and they are organizing a tournament for our people to come and dance, and maybe Bukusi, that La Republic, one of the Lions Republic are playing a tournament. We clap for them. It won't work this time. Tell them it will not work, and it shall never work again. We are gone. There is no way we can go back again.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Professor Ayim. I never knew that you played in a PWD Bamenda. And you know better that back in the days, this selection criteria was very, very tribalistic in terms of not selecting Southern Cameroonians. And we had so much talent, you know, back in the days that we didn't even have the chance to even being selected for the national team. So I don't know your take. Do you see that Amazonian, as of today, we can have a very powerful national team? Because we are building a nation, and we need to start thinking about our national team, how we can structure the national team to be the best in Africa.
Comrade Freeze, you mean the original PWD, Bamenda?
Yeah.
Okay. And listen, the focus now, our focus now is to get to Buea. Our focus now is to do everything we can to restore our statehood and get to Buea. We have all the elements to put everything together, the educational system, the sports system, etc. But let's do first thing first now and get to Buea. This is my rally call to everybody. AFCON just started. It's ongoing. We are not planning for AFCON now. The planning was 3 weeks ago. So let the interim government and the restoration forces continue with the implementation of the covert plans that they had. I am not very privy to all the defense actions, but this is moment of implementation. So we support them. I'm calling on Ambazonians to support them, rally behind the interim government and our restoration forces, give them the encouragement to finish the job, execute the plans that have been put in place. If you do not know plans that have been put in place, doesn't mean that's in place. What is happening in Buea and Victoria is not by accident. Those people in the Security Council, they know, but they will do what they can do with the available, and the plans are in place. So please, to my Congress compatriots, let's stop any digression. Let's stop any distractions. Let's stop any name calling and all this and rally behind the goal of allowing the forces to implement the plans that they have made during this AFCON. AFCON is not ended. You know, it's just two games. AFCON has ended. Even the statement. And most statements will still be made. Let's look at things positively. We could not have said no game will be played forever and ever. When you are fighting against CAF, you're fighting against Food, you're fighting against African Union, you're fighting against the world bodies. We could not have effectively said stop the games, except from our actions, they will decide to stop. Like Mali complained, etc. So we have to do what we have to do from our own end. We're trying to talk about the elections now and all that. At this moment in time, it is not timely. It is a distraction. It is a covert plan by our enemy to distract us, and you're fallen into it headlong in the name of hatred. You are foolish, because after this is over, the AFCON is over, and then you'll be caught somewhere in the middle. We are not foolish. Even though they call us les anglophones, we're just trying to validate that terminology here. What is all this need at this moment in time with all this unnecessary brouhaha and all this here and there, attacking ourselves here and there? Why now? Why now? Does it make sense?
I think, Prof, you are right. I don't see all this kind of distraction in when this tournament, when we concentrate on how to stop this kind of enabling environment within Ambazonia in the name of African Cup of Nations, you know, sponsored by the Total or whatever they call, stealing oil and committing genocide, giving La Republic money to commit genocide. inviting a brain model, inviting our people to contribute money to give. I heard even University of Boya and some other teachers in some of them being called to go to for the tournament. My advice is that they should be very careful. The fact that they are still alive doesn't mean that they are free from the hook of the Republic. If they go to be touched, we'll be the Republic, we just shoot them and then tell the world, oh, Ambazonian Restoration Forces, they are the one who has committed this. We are telling them, you are against your people. And there is no point of argument about that. Let the teachers from UB and any other institution from Martin right up to university, they should sit home and mourn for their people that have the people who are causing confusion within us. I would like to say that they should know that the Republic is very happy, but no matter what, our ground force execute what they want. They are the ones. Don't sit in the diaspora and begin to say stuff, begin to put yourself in a position where you don't even know where you are going, because as of now, our main goal is to reach Uboya. When somebody will question you.
Thank you. Let me, Dr. Anderson, I was about to ask you a question in that light. You as a Home Affairs Secretary, and for 2021, we saw a lot of your successes within the interim government. Organizing elections within the LGAs and counties, and so what is your take about the success of of your Home Affairs Department, in terms of dealing with the LGAs and counties?
I will tell you that it's very positive, in a positive mode, because we did everything to deliver to the will of the people. As a Secretary of Home Affairs and Community Mobilization, I always ask myself, and I asked that to the former Vice President, Dr. Harris Nabongwa, when he was talking about the issue. Look, if you cannot mobilize, we call it community mobilization. You cannot mobilize, you see, how dare you mobilize people that you can't see? Start with the people, the people around you, that you bring them together. So we conduct in Ngogotunje, former chair, who is my deputy, Frank, yes, because he did not belong to any of the, he was not a county chair. We replaced him and we moved to Momo. We replaced the county executives. Though there were some chairs, 2 chairs and one vice chair who did not attend, but the quorum was made. Out of 10, there were 7 people who actually voted. That's 70%. And they voted and for the current chair in Momo, who is a barrister. And again, after a week or two, all within the verified Momo, they came together. Those LGAs that their chair and the vice chair did not come, were there in their executive. They came and formed all the executive, the remaining executive, because the first election was only for vice chair and the vice. After they proceed with other posts after 2 weeks or so, and they were well constituted by the majority. They constituted, because what I told them is that every LGA should be represented in the county. And they were represented. They were very happy on that day. The members of government were there, and they were duly, and they saw the transparency of the election. And again, please, I want to tell you that These very chair and the vice chair that were not in that election, they did not inform me. They did not inform anybody, especially the Department of Home Affairs, that they were not coming. They were conspicuously absent. They were absent. Until after the election, then we started having kind of agitation. Some of them called themselves that they were the ones who actually fought this, and so they were elite in their own LGAs. How can you be?
Thank you.
Who has
to speak? Professor Anderson. Yes, we'll come to that when it comes to your those nitty-gritties within the counties and LGAs. We'll come to that. But I want to ask Professor Ayim, he has been in this struggle for more than 30 years. And I want to ask his take, as the past, the present, and the future. What did it take being in this struggle, spend more than 20 years fighting for human rights for Southern Cameroon and Amazonia? And so I don't know, for the past 5 years, he has involved in all the governments, from Seseko government to Sako government. Are you more pessimistic now than you have been, in the past about the future of the struggle, Professor Ayim?
Yes, thank you, Comrade. When this interim leadership took over after the NERA 10 stuff, there were no funds. There was no structure. There was no deputy president. There was that VPXX and that General XX. No real self-defense apparatus was by the IG. No diplomatic template was. No working grassroots organism. And no internationally recognized mediation. Then there was, you had this scenario of several coups attempts. One of them disguised as, in those early days, as my trip to Boya. Today, just about 3 years onward, the interim government has achieved the impossible with the strongest possible government support as the best for ongoing actions. Now, this interim government leadership of President Samuel Sako has delivered from bleakest of moments, darkest of moments, weakest of positions, and biggest reforms that we have now, LGA county by county, and the federal structure. There has been this positive progression in the Sako administration. Why can people not see this as a fit to at least do the heart for him? Why are we so short-sighted? Now we had the Berlin Amazonia Stakeholders Strategic Conference laid the foundation for forward move of this IG. President Sako has just implemented those. Now questions are arising about elections, constitution. Now President Sako says, okay, let's have another Amazonia Stakeholders Strategic Conference. Let the people speak. Let the people come together and determine the way forward. It's not about Sako, it's not about this, it's not about that. The people are supreme. So he first foresaw this conference for April. But based on what is going on now, he said, no, we agreed in the cabinet, no, this is now, let's do this early. So now this conference has been brought forward to March. In order to give us 1 month, all of us, all Amazonians, whether you like Sako, whether you are in which group, whatever you are a stakeholder, everyone is invited. Let us as a people, meet, see eyeball to eyeball, think sense unemotionally, and chart the way forward from here. You see, this group cannot just decide now, okay, we're going to change the constitution. Oh, okay, we're going to impeach Sako now. Oh, we're going to do this now. When you do that, there is this other group that's going to oppose what you are saying. You just bring us into more chaos. A little bit of patience. In March, we get to that conference. Let the people decide. If the people decide that an election is necessary, let the people, let it be so. Sako is not afraid of elections. We are not afraid of elections. Let's do things right for posterity. Let's do things right for our cause. So I'm optimistic, and I'm inviting all pros and cons, whatever group you are, school, etc. Let's meet at this conference and talk. We can chart a course forward and get our independence this year. We can do that. So please do that. The interim government wants everybody to come on board. Come. It is open. Open conference. Everybody, let's meet and talk. We'll come up with a solution. We will. I know that. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ayim. I want the SOS to talk about this, because there are some allegations of the Restoration Council letter to the president to halt appointment, and they say that the Restoration Council is not well constituted, because the Home Affairs did not work in that line to make sure that the Restoration Council should be constituted with all the LGAs and all the counties. And I want to ask our Home Affairs Secretary, he knows better what should have been done by either the Restoration Council, the IG, or the Home Affairs, because those are the different branches, those different departments of government. There is no blame game here. We are building a nation, and I think that the Restoration Council or the IG or the legislative or the executive branch, they have to work together to make sure that everything moves. So I'm asking the Home Affairs Secretary, what should be done or what should have been done so that the council should have been well constituted to make sure that all the LGAs are represented. Because I read in one of your articles, you read something that you wrote something like that about, they can have well constituted Restoration Council then before they can have say an election or so. Yeah, your take, Dr. Anderson.
Yes, very much. Do you hear me?
Yes, 5 on 5.
Do you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Comrade Fritz. Yeah. So I just want to remind Ambassador that our government, same as almost a government of the state, have 3 tiers. I have 3 arms of government. You have the legislative, the judiciary, and the executive. And when you have these arms of government, one arm does not surpass, cannot impose on another arm of the government. For example, the Restoration Council cannot impose on the executive on what to do and what not to do. The judiciary cannot impose on the Restoration Council or whatever on what to do. What they do is that they have their own meeting and they discuss what they have to discuss and consult with other arms of government and they on what they has to be. It must not be in a chaotic manner whereby a certain individual will connive with Restoration Council and impose on what they have to do. For example, the issue about the elections, before I come to the issue about members of the LGAs to actually to be constituted in the Restoration Council, the issue about election, you have to bear with me that the Constitution did not state that, and you read my write-up. The Constitution did not actually provide that provision. The Constitution, in order to, we have to include that provision so that it can be implemented in the case of in the case of the election. It means that we have to make sure that electoral college or electoral register in all the the LGAs, we have 61 LGAs. Now, we can, though not all of the LGAs have been constituted. I'm talking like India has about 9 LGAs or so, but about 3 or 4 that are constituted. And some others. So the one that are functional now, we have to make sure that we create an electoral register whereby people who competed for the CID and the draft, those are legitimate people to be in that register, and they have the right to vote because they have been suffering, contributing to make sure that the ground zero should bear the heat. So someone cannot just come out from the blue and say no, because there's an ambassador election, let us go and this reminds me of the Home Affairs is organizing a meeting, all the LGS executives to meet 9 p.m. time so that we can discourse and come up with some resolution, especially the ANC, Electoral College, and whatever. Electoral, we have a lot to discuss on Monday. And I'm inviting all the executives to attend the meeting. Only LGA executives. I'm not saying about members of government. No, LGA executives have to be there with the Department of Home Affairs to discuss about this. With respect to of the LGAs to be constituted, yes, members have to be vetted. That means the LGAs, the LGA actually maybe vote or means to select those who have to represent them at their various in the Restoration Council, all the LGA. And then this member, they will be the voice of the people. So, but currently, there are some members that are not very popular in their various LGAs. It means that the LGAs has to recall some of those members until you are very active in your LGA, then can you represent the people in the Restoration Council? There is no way out. There is no way out. So the people have to select to represent them there. And being in the Restoration Council does not give you the audacity that you have to impose on your people, on the will of your people. You are there as to listen to their opinion, to table your concerns, and then the majority of the Restoration Council will discuss about that, and then see how to consult with other branch of government to resolve whatever matter is all about. With the electoral register, I am saying here clean and clear, no Ambazonian will vote because you're an Ambazonian, you will vote without you contributing for your CID, that's compulsory independent dues, because it is these people that contributed that are making things happen. You cannot deprive them and say, okay, anybody can just move somewhere and there. So if there is a provision in the Constitution and there is an amendment, especially in the ASA that will be taking place in Washington, they have to make sure that if there is any amendment in the Constitution, it should be included and not the other way around. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's talk about the international reaction and of the crisis and the
Over
response.
to you,
Yes, thank you, Dr. Anderson. So let's talk about the international reaction of the crisis now and the response given by the international community of what is going on in Ambazonia right now. You know, we have the international bodies like the EU passing a resolution. We have the Amnesty International condemning what is going on. We have the UK Parliament also passing, you know, and they call it a large-scale modern enterprise and genocide. They call it, and we see our people die every day. And we have other, you know, countries also passing it on Ambazonia, said Ambazonia people need freedom from the scorched earth policy of Mr. Biya for the past 5 years. Professor Ayim, what is your opinion in the, you know, what has been going on? We hear that the interim government has went to the International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court, which appeared to be ready to investigate what is going on in Ambazonia. But We don't know much is going on. Do you have any idea of how far this case has gone? Because things are going out of hand, and we don't see any, anything in sight or what is going on in terms of really punishing Biya's regime of the crime they are committing every day. You see, they're burning the villages, they're burning people alive, they are killing children. They don't care what's going on. Professor Ayim.
Yeah, thank you very much. Listen, before I answer this one, let me talk about arms of government, the relationship between the Restoration Council, which is the legislative arm, and the executive body, which is administrative, and then the judiciary. There is this mistake people are making that the Restoration Council is superior to the executive. And so what you and say is paramount, is it. That's wrong. In the US system that we're emulating, there are checks and balances. These three arms of government are equal and powerful in their own areas. Now, the Restoration Council, for example, cannot impose on the executive anything to do. All right? There is the Judiciary Council, which is like the courts, that they can present their case or the issue to the Judicial Council for constitutional and legal interpretation and advice. So they should not bypass the Judiciary Council. Also, the executive, don't bypass the Judicial Council, which is the courts of the land. The three arms are under the Constitution of the country. None of the three arms has that right to amend the Constitution on its own right. The proposal has to go through the process and gets to the people who make the decision, who vote. And the Constituent Assembly has to be put in place. Okay, now you cannot just wake up and be talking about elections. What is the electoral code? Who is going to vote? Who is going to be eligible to vote? What is the electoral board? How is it going to be conducted? You know, all these things, questions must be answered. But meanwhile, the first question is, should there even be elections? Is it in the Constitution? No. It's not in a way the Constitution that I have and everybody has. But if you have to get it there must be a constitutional amendment to include this there. This is why in the ASC March, the people will decide whether at all there should be even elections at this point in time, given the point, given the struggle. If they do say yes, they will go ahead now to vote for the amendment of the Constitution to reflect that. That's the procedure. We don't just do things by whims and caprices of people just because we hate or you love this guy or you are glad you just wake up in the morning and write something. The proclamation, yes, oath, sure, was the oath the legitimate oath? Why was it not legitimate? Because what was provided in the Constitution as the oath was not what was read out at the time of the swearing in. So, in my view, the person who violated the swearing in has a problem. The arrow is being pointed to the wrong direction. If you cannot, as a representative of the people, stand there and say exactly what the people have said you should say, then you need to be punished. That is just it. Now, pointing at the person, why will I start worrying when I've been sworn in, I have work to do? Why will I be pointing, oh, you said 2 years when it's not supposed to be 2 years? Is that the focus? We have to serve the work of the people. And so, to me, all this has started then. When you do the wrong thing from the beginning, it's going to affect. Okay, talking about internationalization and the ICC and ICJ, yes, the interim government is engaging the ICJ. The interim government at this moment is talking with 1 or 2 countries that can present our case to the ICJ. We are not eligible to go to the ICJ straight. It's a procedure. So there is ongoing work in that direction. It's covert. And about the ICC, we have a good file there. It's been admitted. ICC is studying it. We're adding evidence. The barrister, we have an able barrister, Fruso, who's the lead prosecutor. They are good at adding the evidence. It takes time because even the person who there was replaced. The new person is there, has to study the file. So we cannot accelerate that. But is our case there? Yes. Is the interim government pursuing it? Yes. All right. So when it comes to this diplomacy on these legal things, some people are over expecting from the interim government. I think we are the ones to make the decisions. Have we taken actions? Yes. Now the other day, Thibault Nash was out here and he said nobody came to him. People tend to believe him even more than asking us whether that is really true. I will tell you here, Lisa, that Thibault Nash misspoke because we made all attempts. It's not, we don't just walk into the offices like that, but we walked, we handed our diplomatic package to the secretary. If they did not, when you hand, you don't know whether it has gone to him or not. They must tell you, go meet him before you go. Okay, and you have to apply, make an appointment to go. We applied and they didn't open the door for us. Now, Thibault Nash, I was so frustrated. Thibault Nash had a presentation in DC. I flew from Louisiana to attend the presentation. I attended the presentation, asked questions, went with the diplomatic package. Immediately after the presentation, I met him face to face and introduced our issue to him, gave him the package. He said, okay, I should give this secretary, and that the secretary should arrange for us to meet him. Okay, the secretary gave me his business card. I came, calling the secretary, arranging. He would not open the door for us to go meet him. What do? It doesn't matter whether you are living in DC or somewhere else. The door must be open for you to get there, to enter that office. Some people say, Sako, how could it be that he's in DC and doesn't meet these people? It's not just a walkthrough. It's a process. This is not a banana republic, people. Where the door is shut for you, there's not much you can do. But are we working? Yes. Is Sako working? Yes. Is the Foreign Affairs working? Yes. Are we contacting people? Yes. How can our people not see this? Thibault Nash just came and made a statement, and people are just concluding that the government has not been doing anything. That is not fair. That is not fair. Despite the updates that I have been giving the Foreign Affairs, and as Chief of Staff, I've been given some diplomatic updates voluntarily to let the people see what we are doing. And our biggest weapon is ground zero. The biggest diplomatic move is ground zero. Our Amazonian Restoration Forces, lower them. Let's give them what they need. Let's work as a team. Give them what they need. Let them speak on the ground. That is the biggest opening for diplomacy. These people will be calling us, not us struggling to meet them. So please, let's rally and do what is right. I bet you if we all meet in Washington, D.C. in March, in that conference, and we speak with one voice, come up with a resolution, and then speak like one people, those will open for us. How can we be complaining and then killing ourselves at the same time and complaining? Everybody wants to be president. Everybody wants to be president. That is not right. We're just acting foolish sometimes. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Secretary Anderson, in line with what Prof just mentioned, when you look at it from the point of view of this Amazonian crisis, what I'm struck by is that maybe this is the first international crisis that the United States is not really fully involved and is acting like a bystander because it's not really normal for them to be this quiet when it comes to this genocide going on in Amazonia. Your take on this, is it like the concern of Thibault Nash saying that there's lack of engagement? Do you think the interim government need to do more?
You have phrase, you have the language of diplomats. When Thibault Nash was in the office representing the United States, he was actually following orders for the government in which he was. He's not an individual. Now he's an individual, and people are believing him. You have to understand that when he was in the office, and any utterances will be something that counts to the government of the United States. You just heard the Prof. Ayim saying that in several occasions presented to him a package and to U.S. African Affairs in Secretary Blinken. You can relate. Our people are meeting to meet him, but because he's with for the government, he has to in line of what the government says. Not that the United States is not against Ambazonian liberation. No, they know where they stand. They know when it will be done. For example, when this secretary was empowered by this government, I'm talking about the government of the United States, what did he do? He said the issue about what is going on, what is going on in other countries in Africa, he's more concerned and he's doing everything possible to make sure that the issue, you are aware of that, Fritz. So it is not something that the United States are aware of. As Prof. said, our asset is ground zero. When we apply the heat, that is where the language will come from. And there is nothing we can to say, okay, you have to do this, we have to do it. Yeah, we are in the United States, we are all United States citizens, and we have a right to petition. But the issue is they're already aware. You see that Karen Bass was in Yaoundé. Secretary, the representative Karen Bass of California was in the first hand of information of what is happening there. And when she came back, I've not heard her spoke anything back. There are things that are going behind the scene that majority of them do not understand. Diplomacy takes time. And hoping that the United States, after the AFCON, after seeing the heat, what the areas are doing, they will act spontaneously and make sure that they stand for the right thing and do it right. And so the people, I'm not saying that we're pressurizing the international community, especially the United States. We should, not only the United States, other countries that matter. But the States is our father, almost like our father, because he is the head of the internal government is based, is in the United States. And the United States know where each and every one of us is located. So we cannot say the United States are against it. No, it's not. They are following up everything, and they will do the right thing. God will help and touch other nations to liberate Ambazonia from this canker worm that we are facing today.
Thank you, Professor Ayib. You as a former foreign secretary, it seems to me, Ambazonia faces a very strategic time. Over the past years, I think that the interim government has done much when it comes to push for this diplomatic front. But I don't know, what do you think that is the most strategic thing to do now, to do more in terms of diplomatic front? Talking about the Swiss-led negotiation, people are still waiting to know what is going on so that we know when La Republic must commit to go to the negotiation table. And talking about all the resolutions passed, we hear about the visa ban of the La Republic officials. All these things are diplomatic win, yeah, no doubt. But what do you think is more strategic interest for Ambazonia now that we have to prioritize because diplomacy is prioritization, and if you don't prioritize to get that development, relationship, to develop that relationship with the US and other European and Asian countries. Professor Ayn.
Yes, I can get that. I can get the question. Though I hear you chop, I get that you're talking about Swiss negotiation. And let me assure Ambazonian people listening to me that the Swiss mediation process is alive. The Swiss process is alive. There is enough pressure on La République du Cameroon to come to the table to meet the Team Act and the Federal Republic of Ambazonia and at the table. So it is on. It is on so much so that La République is trying to avoid this and delay this by creating confusion. Now that brings you the CDN stuff here. They bring confusion, create a different narrative to buy time, and then to get us to be talking to ourselves and quarreling so that they cannot intensify their atrocities on the ground or delay coming to the table. So whatever anybody is doing now is a distraction from what is expected from by the community related to Swiss mediation. It is alive. SACO is the stumbling block for La République du Cameroon. They don't want to come to the table. They want to talk at the background. La République du Cameroon has asked SACO 3 times to talk at the background, on the corridor, or away from the table. And 3 times, President SACO said, no, this issue cannot be discussed between you and I without a third party mediating. There is the Swiss mediation, let's meet there. This is what frustrates La République and France a lot. And so if they have a way to get rid of the President SACO and the interim government, they will. That is why we are where we are now. Where we are now is the work of La République du Cameroon and France at the background trying to torpedo things, and they're trying to focus it on SACO, and so that is what is on. So the Swiss process is on. I am telling you, Amazonian people, let us rally behind the interim government and President SACO in a positive way. The Swiss mediation is on. There is heat on La République. Let's not allow them get off the hook here. They tell me we have a say, because the Radmo is what we dig a lot, So they say, when you have seen the cutting hole with the Radmo comes out, okay, don't just lay there quiet. When it comes out, don't catch it on the nose. Wait for it to come out, then you catch it on the neck. That is where the interim government is. We have to a point. They are suffocating, and they want to wriggle their way out by controlling the narrative, by enhancing the rule. And so they have sent some activists, they have sent some people just attack. Pull down SACO. Once it's not dead, our obstacle is taken care of. We will get who we want there, support who we want there. Now we can talk federation. Now we can compromise the cause. But SACO, I'm telling Amazonian people, SACO is being called a lot because it's doing the right thing for you, Amazonian people. He's doing the right thing for us, Amazonian people. He's doing the right thing to uphold our constitution. So don't be deceived by too much talking, too much rhetoric. Chris Anu knows well, and he's being used to that effect. Please, it's not too much talking. How much you talk, that matters. It is whether this course is really being upheld that matters. President SACO is the umbrella. He's the protector of the will of the Amazonian people, which is independence. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Because of time, we'll be concluding, and I want Secretary.
Let me add something, please. Let me add something, please.
Yes, go ahead.
Look, yeah, the great impediment to the French hegemony in La République is Dr. Sacco, and whom some of us are the members of cabinet. You cannot imagine that at this time, when we're expecting that we should get positive result from the street, they found some people are posturing for elections. When the election is conducted and the modalities are drawn, I don't think some of them will be qualified. And again, if they have to go ahead and if they council and they will see what is being hidden there. So I just to assure Ambassador, I say, look at me, I'm reading here, you know, I've done 22 years and I'm very consistent. Yes, 22 years, not 22, 22 years from the days of as a chairman right up to this moment I'm talking about. We don't compromise. By La Republic has been too much for us to bear. I've been a victim of La Republic. So what you hear on social media is proven is false. There is nothing Dr. Sacco is hiding behind. Dr. Sacco is not a treasurer. Dr. Sacco is not a financial secretary. Dr. Sacco is he's just president. Us, where the people that it should be done. And we have 13 treasurers with the central treasury that lead and decide on what has to happen. Every LGA or counties have their own account separately from that of the National Treasury. And we have to understand the National Treasury is being watched by these, every dime that goes out and comes in, the United States government, especially the IRS, that's the Internal Revenue Service, know about what is happening. If the department allows remove in our own personal account, your various banks, I don't see how major organizations they will not be by the United States government. Any money or maybe in will be sanctioned by the state government. Some artists kind of person is the court of law, they are for falsification of evidence or manipulation of the people against the president. So we will not sit quiet. Before we used to sit quiet, I will blame the president for sitting quiet for a long acting. He would have started acting from inception, because Africans, we like dictators, and that is what they want. They want dictatorship, but we will practice democracy because we are Nigeria. We came in and they actually passed the baton to Foncha, and so we have to practice democracy, but freedom of speech has a limit. If you want to speak freely, distorting facts, okay? Speak the truth. Don't tell Ambassador falsehood and be that they will believe in you and so on. Ambassador Dr. Sacco is around, he has taken us down, and we will, the cabinet members who are behind him, until we get to. Thank you, Fritz.
Thank you. We'll be running up now with your final statements because of time. I just got a message from the technician that we'll be running up. So the final thoughts, Professor Ayim, your final thoughts.
Thank you for inviting me to your show. And thank Ambazonians for listening to me. And I want to assure all of us Ambazonians that the future is bright, that the going will be good, and there is nothing that we reasonably cannot solve. If we put our heads together, think on it. And this is one of those tsunamis, occultic tsunamis that have hit us, and the coup has failed, and we, the interim government, stand on its feet. I am calling on all Ambazonians to be patient and come at the Amazonia stakeholders conference. Let us talk the way forward as one people. Look, we can disagree on issues, but we cannot stay disagreeable, because that is not the Southern Cameroon's Ambazonian spirit. Let me end up by just telling you, as a youth growing up, what our fathers left to us as a legacy. I watched from the opposition coming in with the coup. They came in the same car. They climbed the stage one after another. Foncha spoke. Then the opposition, ETA spoke. They insulted themselves. They quarreled there. You would not think that these are people who can live from them and go together. I remember ETA's statement about corruption in the Foncha government. He said, you take a fire, you put on for there. You take a fire, you put on for there. That was describing how they were corrupt. And people laughed. And what we took away from there was, you take a fire, you put on for there. So after their meeting, these people said, laughing, going to back to the next campaign station. That is the legacy which you should have in the Southern Cameroons. We have some disagreements. We may be doing things in the way you don't want, but we are doing something. Now let's meet in DC and try to harmonize what we want. We're sharing the same goal. So the fact that we don't do it the way you want doesn't mean we're not doing anything. Sako is really working his butts out. Amazonian people, please, let's rally in March and make peace and forge a board. If we have to reverse our constitution, we do it. If anybody has to lose a position, so be it. Nobody's out for a position. We want the safety. And let's focus now. Let's not put anything on hold about Ground Zero and Amazonian Restoration Forces and actions. Amazonian people, I'm really pleading, let's intensify our donations so that we can escalate and intensify ground action while we move on towards March. Nothing should be put on hold. Nothing. So please, this is my clear on call. Thank you very much for listening to Amazonia. Shall live the struggle.
Dr. Anderson.
Yes, thank you. I want to salute our ARF all across Amazonia. Not pay attention to the diaspora. The Sako is here and are here to contribute, sustain them. We will not be cowed by people who intimidate the government. We will make sure that the financial position should be adequately to them. And please trust in us, in the leadership. We're doing everything to liberate you through there. The departments of Home Affairs want to stretch in all the areas and counties. We can disagree. I'm not saying that you don't disagree. Let us disagree without being disagreeable. Let us discuss out the facts and let's discuss about it and be very civil in our arguments. Not be ejected from to another here and believe that, because I was ejected in number 61. I was an army. I don't want to call his name here. Ejected me from that. I don't know the modus operandi of this set. Ejected me from the. Well, whatever thing that I did for you, I think you can talk to me discuss it and see how we can reconcile ourselves. I'm a very simple man. We can talk and then agree, because at the end of the day, we all gonna go to union. There's a where we forward, one step forward, one backward. Does that actually make sense? Giving credit to your enemy, forces are fighting there in ground zero. And international community is, creating a lot of alarm everywhere. Reading the Senegalese newspaper, where they are talking about in Washington Post, talking about this. 3 point something in the whole municipality of Limbe. I'm talking about the children. Let all of us embezzlement, financial misappropriation, and everything. We have to solve it as we solve in my trip to Bohia. We have to to sit down and see how they can look into this aspect and solve it. A financial expert that can solve these issues. Let's come to work together, reconcile ourselves. I don't have any with anybody. No, I don't have. I don't know, maybe some have. Because I love my fellow Ambazonians. As a Secretary of Home Affairs, I love everybody. If you have a problem, call me, we talk, and we agree. You have to understand that majority of your people are not authority and give something to the minority who are agitating. And we have to work for those LGA chairs and LGA chairs and maybe county chairs that are, especially Momo, that are running and talking this. Job, please, together, let's discuss. Come, because at the end of the day, when we are drawing up electoral register, your name has to be included.
Thank you.
You want to form what I
Thank you, SOS. Thank you, Prof. Aim, for joining the show. I appreciate it. I thank you very much for coming and let's talk things out. I appreciate it. The connection has not been that good, but hopefully next time we're gonna work on the various connection, the networking and everything. I want to appreciate you for honoring my invitation. I thank you very much, and I hope God bless you. Thank you for coming. Thank you, televiewers, for watching ABC TV. I want to say that we are fighting a war of existence. We are fighting like Somaliland fought for their land. We are fighting like South Africans fought against apartheid. We are fighting like the South Sudan fought for independence. So it's not different. So fellow Ambazonians, our people should fight like their existence depends on it, because it sure did. Our price is independence. It is not negotiable. So whoever is trying to play with our independence or trying to negotiate our independence is doing so at his own risk. Remember how many people have died in this war. Remember, 35,000 plus. Remember how many people are displaced internally. Remember, this is ethnic cleansing. Because if you see what they're doing to our people, it's killing our people. Everything they are doing. So please don't play with this. Don't play with our independence. And anybody joking, anybody doing anything that is not in the best interest of this struggle should stop immediately, please. If you cannot work with the government, if you cannot work with the people who are there, elected people, please, you can stay aside. You must not be part of something that we're trying to build. This is about nation building. Let's work as a team. Let's work. Let all the three branches of government work together. Let's make this thing work. As our forefather did, Endeli, Foncha, all of them did the same thing. Let's do the same and follow in that footstep. Thank you for watching. See you next week, fellow Amazonians, and God bless everyone. Thank you very much.
This is the People's Television, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. The voice of the voiceless. Bringing the state of the struggle on your fingertips. Unmasking the genocide in Ambazonia. Reporting first-hand untold stories from Africa. Donate to ABC Amba TV every day. We the people must control the narrative. Internationalize the struggle, keep ground zero abreast and win the war. Cash App 240-486-8768. Hashtag $AmboABC. Zelle, donations at ambazoniafoundation.org. PayPal, support@abcambath.com. Thank you.
Exclusive from Demos Records.
dollar.